I'm back. Welcome to Field Tripping. I'm so happy to be back. I've got my camera back. I'd lost it. Actually, it was stolen, and then thankfully, I think someone's conscience got the better of them, and I got it back. I lost any footage that was saved on there, but you know what? That's on me. I think I've got to learn to take better care of my things. But I'm so happy to have my camera back and be back with you. The garden is actually pumping, even though this is probably the deadest time of the year, but people think when you think of the garden, at least one of them at least, because it's right in the middle of winter. It's end of February out here. We just had a couple of pretty good little frosts, kind of freaked out all the local gardeners, but you know what? I didn't cover a single thing out here. I've got my citrus trees, I've got a lot of stone fruit, we've got blueberries, we've got all of our veggies out here in the garden. I didn't cover anything, and guess what? They all look wonderful. That doesn't mean you shouldn't cover your plants at certain times, but just for all the plants that I chose out here, they like that cool weather. The fruit trees that I have, for that temperature, it really wasn't getting cold enough for long enough to really worry me. It wasn't going to be a hard freeze. It was a very light frost from the feel of it for me when I got out and saw my plants, saw the garden. It really was, as soon as the sun came up, it started warming up real quick. You know, I got my apriums, my plum, my pluots, my peaches that are blooming, and they're actually, blossoms look totally fine. So, you know, everything's looking good right now. So in today's episode, I'm gonna do a little garden update. As you can tell, I'm really excited to be back filming more video. Expect a whole barrage of videos now that I've got the camera. I've been working like crazy with the students here at the school. We planted a bunch of berries that I can't wait to show you. Maybe I'll have to make a whole separate video on that to go a little deeper into a little deeper dive on our berries and what we got going. But let's get right to it. All right, so just to give you an idea of what our garden looks like this time of year, it's end of February, but you know, our cabbage are still coming along. Actually, we harvested a few cabbage heads yesterday and gave them to a couple staff members that we really care about here. Just love them. They're just great folks to work with. Mr. George and Miss Cooley, they're just wonderful. But so we already got some off. These ones are catching up, these red cabbage. You know what those are? Those are leeks, and they're finally taking off now that it's, you know, kind of the days are getting a little bit longer. Soil's warming up, hopefully. We got taters planted right there, but they haven't quite sprouted just yet. Maybe let's see if we get lucky. Maybe we'll see a little leaf or something. Oh, there we go, right there. So you can see right here, just a little bit of growth coming up. And so that's the beginnings of our potato plants. Those shoots are shooting up, and now those shoots are starting to turn into leaves. I cannot wait to see those pop up and grow more. It'd be a great little harvest. We've actually got 3 different spinach in here, and you know what? They were kind of in a holding pattern. We harvested some, and then they kind of, I feel like they took January off and didn't do much. But now they're actually starting to kick out some new growth. You can see they're gonna start to look a little better. But right here, we've actually been harvesting like crazy. The broccoli, the brassicas for us this year have just been fantastic, as you can see here. This is the graffiti. We grew these. This is a seedling we got from Isley's Nurseries over there at Green Acres. But you look at these head. Look at this. I pulled one out earlier this week that I should have filmed, but it was honestly, it was 3 times the size. It was about a 1.5 foot across. It was such a monster. I've been eating it all week with my wife, and I think we're on like night number 3 where it's gonna fill up 3 different meals worth of veg for us. But here's another plant I'm really stoked about, and then you can actually see it starting to bloom right here. So this is a broccoli variety called Romanesco. Some of you may be growing this at home or have grown it before. This one's actually starting to bloom. You can see the coloration starting to change. So this is actually blooming, or about to. So today would be a great day to harvest. Even yesterday or the day before would have been fine as well. But you know, we don't always have, so here's an example of one that's still kind of, you know, budding up. So this one will be ready soon as well. But we've actually had a couple big monster heads come out. These ones are doing okay, doing pretty good. I cannot wait to mix them in. So you can see one right here we let go, just to show a contrast of what one looks like when it starts to really swell up and you know, get ready to flower, as opposed to one that's, you know, a little more immature. Both are delicious, but I prefer to eat that one. This one you could still eat, but you know, we're actually gonna let it continue to go, I think, because we want to get some seed out of that. We're gonna do some seed harvesting. The carrots are finally taking off, and you know, if you've grown carrots before, you know they're kind of slow to start, but then once they get going, they're pretty awesome to grow. We probably should have thinned these ones out a little bit. They've been battling, but lately the kids have been pulling out some pretty monster carrots that are actually really sweet. Really, there's more leeks. Of
course, more Romanesco. Here's our row of carrots we've been pulling out. Citrus, they have had students eating citrus every day, all day since, gosh, December. We started, November, we started with mandarins. These orange trees have been going. We have a couple of them still packed full. This one, they've almost picked over, but there's still about a dozen or so in there. But just, we've been eating, I have a student who eats 3 oranges every time he comes over and hangs out with me. It's a lot of fun. So like I said, here's our spinach over here. We cut it back, and it's just now, like I said, it took January off, and now it's starting to come back pretty good. You can see this green beret right here. I really like this one. Look how dark green this variety is. And of course, we have the pansies planted there just for fun. Maybe we're actually gonna take some cuttings of those, or just harvest the blossoms and dry them out and press them, and maybe make some bookmarks or something we can use for reading. But yeah, that green beret spinach is just phenomenal. And of course, any empty row you see, those rows that were broccoli that we had harvested earlier on in the season, and now are planted with potatoes. Now it's still too early for the potatoes really to be, visible, but like I said, some areas they are sprouting up and just kind of pushing past. We did them a few different styles. We did some then in a double row and some in a single trench style row. So we'll see how it goes. They're early days, but we're hoping to get plenty. Now look at these cabbage. This is what I really want to show you in today's videos. How big and beautiful these cabbage are. Like I said, and actually the 2 biggest ones we pulled out yesterday. So these other ones are catching up, but look at that. Thing's a monster. At first they're kind of loose, and then as they start to mature, you'll notice that the head kind of gets a lot more firm over time. And so at a certain point, it'll reach a certain size, and then you see it kind of cluster up. That head just kind of gets nice and tight with inner foliage, I guess, or all the little folds and whatnot of all that wonderful cabbage that you know and love to eat. So you can see here are some heads that we've been harvesting. This one just got cut back yesterday. Someone took that one home, a student. Students are loving taking these home. And so they're just a fantastic, the Romanesco are just great. They look beautiful, and they're just great. But that's how our garden's looking right now. We've actually, like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video where we can talk about the blueberries. So we've been taking care of our blueberries. We're about ready to install a new irrigation tube for them to get them water. But it's been fantastic. We've been clipping off any dead material, getting them some fertilization, and irrigating them as needed. And then of course we actually had a little open spot here. So these ones are all new. We got these from Green Acres the other day, our nursery nearby here where we live. And I got a bunch of them. They were like 12 bucks a piece, and they're like $11.90 something, whatever. So they were in little fruit sleeves, those really deep, pots where they're really narrow but very deep. And so these ones had a great root system. Actually, as soon as we get them in the ground, they pushed out a little bit of new growth, and then they started blooming, which is great. Look at this one right here. Look how many flowers and blueberries are going to be on this little one right here. Fantastic. I cannot wait to eat those. Sometimes you could clip those flowers off if you want to put the energy into the growth. But you know what? I think with these we'll let them ride, and we'll just take good care of them and see how they go. Because I know the students are going to want to get some fresh blueberries. We've also had a little strawberry adventure, but like I said, I'm gonna have to break that into another video, because that's a whole new ball game right there at the strawberries. But yeah, I think you guys will be impressed, or at least hopefully enjoy what we're doing. But maybe get some ideas for yourself and get juiced up. The one last thing I wanted to show you is look over here. So we had a lot of blueberries out here, but this is something new to our garden right here. One of my favorite things to eat. Check that out. Boysenberries, right? So boysenberry is a variety of blackberry. It's very kind of sweet with a tangy kind of tartness to it. They're so good. And then of course we got, like I said, a traditional style blackberry. These are all thornless, which will be great for us. And then the last ones I have, look at this. We even did 2 raspberries, and so we're gonna train them along the fence. What's cool is, even though it's the end of February, they're just now starting to put out some fresh growth. And so it's kind of cool to see that develop. We're gonna train them along this fence, and it's gonna be a fun little experiment for us, because we haven't done it out here just yet in this area. We've amended the soil, we've added a lot of organic matter, but like I said, they're gonna need a little bit of love, a little bit of nutrition. We've got to keep the weeds off them, but also get the irrigation to them. Compost pile's doing good. You guys, I could talk to you forever, but I gotta get back to work. So I'm so glad to be back filming and making videos for y'all to enjoy, hopefully, and we can share ideas and share our knowledge together.
There's a great community of gardeners and fellowship of gardeners out there, and I'm just really excited just to be a small part of that and to connect with people. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you know, put them down below. If you've made it to this part of the video, I can thank you for being here this long. If you like what you saw, you know, please subscribe to the channel. I know I'd certainly appreciate that. So until next time, garden friends, happy gardening to you, and please never ever stop growing.